What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me, but I just got home off of an early morning flight, right? First thing through the door, I want to see my family. I love my family. You know, I'm a family man. I'm an advocate for families, right? Second thing, I got to get that hot shower because I got to throw the threads on. The threads make me feel like $1,000,000, but the third thing through my mind and all throughout the trip is that I gotta have that Tiege pack. Tiege makes my life uncomplicated. It's uncomplicated skincare for men. The first way that I started specifically was their level 1 system. It's a daily face wash to get rid of the dirt and grime on your skin. 2 times per week exfoliating scrub to get rid of the dead skin cells. An AM moisturizer with SPF20 because you should always be protecting your skin from the sun, and a PM moisturizer to help your skin stay hydrated and healthy throughout the night. Here's the thing. My favorite part about Tiege Hanley is that every box comes with an instruction card that tells you when to use each product, how much to use, and in what order. They really making the process of achieving and maintaining amazing skin for men uncomplicated. In addition to amazing skin, members of Tiege Hanley get tons of benefits, including at least 20% off the retail price, the ability to customize your box, exclusive monthly deals, you can pause and cancel at any time, and you get free shipping. And because Tiege Hanley is sponsoring today's video, they're offering my viewers an amazing deal, right? Just click the first link in the description and you get 30% off your first box, plus a free gift. It's an amazing deal. You got to get started today. You're not out here trying to look like a dusty. And if you travel as much as I do, which I'm sure most people don't, but you know me, I'm pushing my bag chasers in order to be in the top 5%, top 10%, top 1%. We got to make our lives uncomplicated, and Tiege Hanley is no better product. You got to look good. You got to smell good. And you can't be looking like a dusty. Make sure you get started today. Click the link in the description. Get that Tiege pack. Feel the Tiege, my friends. What is this? What is this? Why is this looking like this? Come on, family. We got to do better than that. Good God. Give me a better view than that. Okay, I can't get no motion. I don't get no motion. That's how we starting off the live stream. Motionless. Camera's all shot. Everything is all messed up. Give me a second, man. What is going on? There we go. Jesus Christ. Bless me, Anton. I tell you. Hey. Good thing I wasn't naked. Jesus. Hit that last angle. Time Green Lawn represents Oh man. Good God. I've been on a struggle stream bandwagon out here. The T-Rex arms from last night. Dog, I've been on the struggle stream. I got to figure out a day to not struggle stream out here in these streets. What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys. Remember the butt cam? Anton was so much better. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Good morning. It is Wednesday, March 6, 2023. 2023. Y'all want to just throw the whole stream away and start all over? What if I was, hold on, wait. They got me on a froze mode. What if I was naked? That wouldn't have been good, would it? I had to start the whole stream over. Stock Club was hitting this morning. Last night's stream was crazy on after hours. I was struggle streaming on after hours last night, but we had a ball. We had a ball last night. What's going on, friends and family? How y'all feel? Did y'all tune in for Stock Club today? Don't worry about it. We're going to re-upload it as soon as camera would have been black. Stock Club was hidden. Are y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers? Are y'all not a part of the Bag Chasers? He said, why would you be naked, Anton? Says Kiana. You don't know how I get down? Man, I'm always naked. If I'm not on camera, I'm naked. I sleep naked. Walk around the crib, mostly naked. The first thing that I do when I get in here, because I got on my joggers right now. So when I get into the studio, when I'm outside, I'm fresh as hell. So I usually had on something. I'm lit, whatever. But once I get in here, throw on some joggers. I got on my Yeezy slides. Oh, my slides. These slides so worn out. I throw on my Yeezy slides. I throw on my joggers. And I get to cooking. I got to be comfortable. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it is Wednesday, March 6, 2024, year of our Lord. And we getting it popping. Congratulations. You woke up today. That means you got another opportunity to do great things. For those of you that missed Stock Club this morning, let me give you an update. So, this is what we're doing going forward. I decided, because you know I'm always tinkering with things. I'm a creative, you know what I'm saying? And so I decided that we had a much, much better live stream because I had already prepared for the Millionaire Morning Show, and then I had prepared for Stock Club. And so everything went great. So we did Stock Club this morning, and it was awesome as usual. And so if you guys are not a part of the Patreon, the best time to join the Patreon is the beginning of the month. And we got it popping. So shout out to the Bag Chasers. If you missed Stock Club, it will be re-uploaded shortly after the show. All right. So you will be able to restream that. I would suggest that you start with the Stock Club at the beginning of the year and then go into the one that we're doing now. But we also decided that we're going to be doing Stock Club at least once a week instead of twice a month. So we ramping up. We're going to do Stock Club once a week in the beginning of the week. And then we just going to keep ramping up. So we about our bag. We about getting this money. We about taking care of business. We about showing receipts. We about all of that. We break down the charts, the graphs. But don't be scared, y'all. The one thing that's beautiful about our Stock Club is we break it down from a C student's perspective. So we don't leave nobody behind. We want to make sure that everybody is getting to the bag. Everybody is successful. And so I break it down as simple as possible so that you guys don't get caught up in the terms and listen, we don't care nothing about that. We don't care about the tough talk, the terms. Oh, man, the market condition, blah, 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 the analysts. We don't care nothing about that. We're going to break it down all the way fundamentally for you to be able to understand exactly what's going on, because it's not that everybody is smarter than you. Listen, these analysts, these guys that went to school for it, they don't know what the heck they looking at. They don't know what they talking about, because if they did, then they would be rich themselves. But you know why they're not rich? Because it's easier to just throw a bunch of terms out there so that they can make you think that they really doing something that they not. When you get rid of all of the fluff and you get rid of all of the terms, it's just like being in corporate America, right? Hey guys, what's the MVP of this thing? And then you be sitting there like, these guys are so evolved, so advanced. MVP, it's the minimum viable product. It's the thing that you need at minimum. Now, from a C student's perspective and a corporate perspective, hey, what's the MVP? You thinking, man, y'all got a most valuable player here in the corporate America? No, it's the minimum viable product. It's the thing that you need to get out the door to at least get a product on the shelf so the customers can continue to use it. And then we just going to continue to work on it and continuously improve it and add different features in it as we go. It's not that difficult. It's not that deep. So that's one of the things that's beautiful about what we do. We break it down from a C student's perspective again, because it's not that they smarter than y'all. They're not better than y'all. It just seems intimidating because they're using a bunch of different words and terms and big words to try to make it more complicated than it is. When you start breaking it down, we can whoop them all day long. We going to whoop all of these fund managers. We going to whoop them. We going to take care of them. And so make sure y'all tap into the Patreon so you can link up with a group of people that's going in the direction that you're going in. Let's run this bag up. Let's change our mindset. Let's get to it. All right, I'm going to be reading the super chat shortly. Let me acknowledge the sponsor of the show, Tiege Hanley. Yeah, the struggle stream is on 10 today. Struggle streaming is on 10. They trying to stop me, but you can't stop me. All right, let me acknowledge a couple of the super chats. Hey, your car, can you stay on top of it and make sure that I get all of the super chats? Because I don't know what's happening in Detroit today, but they got me out here in these streets, man. Shout out to Edwin Seeley is in the building. I appreciate you, says, for a chance to get business advice. Shout out to Edward Seeley. Email me at AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Also, on top of that, I want to acknowledge Michael. Michael says, for good morning and have a great show. Thank you, Michael. Raymont says, for the Patreon, how do I join After Hours? If y'all want to join After Hours, make sure you tap into After Hours at After Hours with Anton Daniels. It's that simple. It's After Hours with Anton Daniels. Ambush 850 says, we knew what a woman was under Trump. Shout out to Ambush 850. I appreciate you. Psychedelic Sense with the fireball. Thank you. Daryl Pullins pulled up and said, what up, though? Shout out to Daryl Pullins. Mike that dude. I appreciate you, Mike that dude. Always hold me down. Can we get a round of applause for Mike that dude? Shout out to Mike that dude. I want to acknowledge Fearless Podcast. Make sure y'all go and check out Fearless Podcast. All right. Fearless says coaching call yesterday was fire. Listen, this is real life. This is real life. Nobody is messing with what we got going over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. He said coaching call yesterday was fire. 1 hour equals $1 million worth of advice. 1 hour. I'm not making this up. I can't force people to give a super chat and say whatever it is that their experience was. I can't tell you. The people in here will tell you what the Patreon is. They will tell you what Stock Club is. They'll tell you what the meetups are. They'll tell you what the coaching calls are like. 1 hour, I kicked it with Fearless. 1 hour equals $1 million worth of advice. We'll be implementing it for our next call. You even made wifey happy. I keep telling y'all. Bring the wife in. Bring the wife in. Hey, your car, I think I missed the early super chat, the first super chat that we got of the day. Can you please check that out and send that to me if I don't already have it? Bring the wife in, and when y'all be looking at me, y'all say, Anton, you so disrespectful. You keep saying, send your wife to me. I'm going to send her back a better person. No, I'm telling you, I'm going to complete you. Anybody that roll with me, anybody that get caught up with anybody that link up with me, they will be a better version of themselves when they leave. And the fact of the matter is, y'all keep letting y'all egos get in the way of your bag. Stop letting your ego get in the way of your money and your progress and your life and your relationships and your wife. I will make sure that you are taken care of. Look at Ari. Ari will tell you, Ari, yes, Anton gave me so much game on my coaching call. Emperor, coaching call equal to money. He telling you, you even made wifey happy. I'm one step away from walking on water. I'm one step away. Lord said, Anton, let me humble you a little bit. I don't want you over here walking on water. Just go ahead and stay where you at. Shout out to Fearless, my guy. It was a great call yesterday. Car Concierge says, got a couple G's in Robinhood. Should I take it out? You don't have to take it out. I prefer the big boys. I prefer Fidelity. Shout out to the Car Concierge. I appreciate you. I would go with Fidelity if I was you. I don't deal with Robinhood. I go with Fidelity. Link Jack says, thank you for your awesome advice, bro. I appreciate you, my boy. Happy to be a bag chaser. Shout out to the chasers. If you're not a part of the Patreon, the link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Y'all ready to go ahead and get started with the show? Hey, the one thing that they can't say about me is that Anton ain't made more men a millionaire. I'd have made more men a millionaires than the lotto did. They made millions, Just made millions. Leo made millions. Dame tell you if he wasn't in his feelings, I'm going to be quiet because I know Fi Brown going to feel a certain type of way about that. Beans will tell you if he wasn't in his feelings. I switched the names around because it's Dame. You know, I got a thing for Dame. I want your car to hear that one. Anyways, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Let's get it popping with the show. So, let me make sure. And I'm going to be reading the super chats throughout the show. If I miss any, give me a little bit of grace. I'm going to get to them. Look at Fi Brown. I knew he was listening. All right, y'all ready? Oh, and we got the Anton Daniels channel tonight. So if y'all not subscribed to the Anton Daniels channel, y'all know we live stream on a Wednesday night, and the Wednesday night get a little extra. I'm warning you right now. What up, Jules? What up, Julian? What up, R Streets? I love my art. Hey, R Streets ain't got no wrench? Why R Streets ain't got... Okay, hold on. Let's solve for this real quick. Every once in a while, I got to make sure that certain people... I didn't see them. I don't know why our streets ain't got no rich. Add as moderator, standing. All right. All right, let's go ahead and get into the show. Bitcoin Brown, you ain't got no wrench? All right, we only going to do 2 wrenches per day. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the show. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the looking at him, he illustrating. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right, let's get into the show, ladies and gentlemen. Quick hits. We back on quick hits. Quick hits is a segment of the show that we don't necessarily think it takes an entire segment to be dedicated to it, but we definitely want to keep you guys up here in these streets and familiar with what's going on in the streets. Ladies and gentlemen, let's continue. First and foremost, Nikki Haley dropped out. Finally. You know, I'm always trying to understand why these people stick around in the race longer and what are they trying to do? Because all they're doing is taking money away from donors. And why do donors continue to give people money to people that they know is going to lose? Anyways, let's continue. Oh, no, you can't have no wrench for after hours, Fi Brown, because that's when you be out of control.
Welcome back. Breaking news this morning. Nikki Haley will be delivering remarks in Charleston, South Carolina later this morning. It is being reported that she is going to announce she is dropping out of the race. The Wall Street Journal says she's not going to endorse President Trump right away, but the Journal is reporting that she will likely drop out of the race this morning. This after Super Tuesday appeared to set up an unprecedented rematch between President Biden and former President Trump in the general election this November, as they both close in on their party's presidential nominations. We reported a long time ago that Trump will likely lock up this nomination by March 14th. Trump winning 14 states yesterday, only losing to Nikki Haley in Vermont. Trump nearing 1,000 Republican delegates now, compared to Haley's 89 delegates. Here's what President Trump had to say at his Mar-a-Lago watch party last night.
We're going to win this election because we have no choice. If we lose the election, we're not going to have a country left.
In a general sense, Nikki Haley was out there. I don't know what's up with women wasting people's time. Thank you, Yakar. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. The ones that I missed, I definitely got to acknowledge because I don't want not one super chat to go by without us acknowledging it, okay? So Nikki Haley officially drops out of the race. Everybody knew that she wasn't going to win. She knew that she wasn't going to win, but she was just out here pandering, taking up votes. And this is one of the people that we like to call a plant. I like to call people like her a plant. Because she have all of these supporters and all of these people, and they be wasting money. And meanwhile, nobody is challenging Biden. And he's basically putting together a war chest of all of these crazy people that supporting him. But we're going to get more into the election shortly. More into the election shortly after we get over quick hits. So, yes, Nikki Haley was out there wasting time, but she's no longer wasting time. She's now going to move in a different direction, and hopefully that's off of our radar. In addition to Nikki Haley, Fani Willis, lawyers in the Fani Willis case are saying that they have new evidence that she was out there busting it down for a real one.
Defense lawyers in the Fulton County election interference case say they have more evidence proving the timeline of Fani Willis' former relationship with her special prosecutor, Nathan Wade. The defense says Cobb County Co-Chief Deputy DA Cindy Lee Yeager and defense attorney Manny Aurora can testify Terrence Bradley told them Wade and Willis were romantically involved in 2019 and 2020. That is far earlier than the former couple testified in court. The attorneys want the two to testify again before Judge Scott McAfee rules. Judge McAfee said he was done hearing evidence on Friday.
Listen, here's my question. Here's the real question that we got to ask ourselves in this whole Fani Willis situation. We all knew, the general public knew, that they was out here lying. We knew how that man made a whole lot of money. We ain't crazy. You know what I'm saying? We not crazy. We know exactly what happened, what was going on and all of that. Hey, what was Fani Willis's name that was inside of the phone? Did y'all remember what the name was said? Does anybody in the chat remember what the name was that was inside of the phone? It was something like get my Power P grip or something like that. Shout out to Daryl Pullins, the newest bag chaser. Does anybody know what the name that she had in the phone was? If you can, put it in the chat. I want to. Yeah, it was called Gorilla Grip P. And I can't say the word. Gorilla Grip P. Listen, it's a lot of things. Hold on, I gotta see if I can find that video. I gotta see if I can Gorilla Grip. I gotta see if I can find that video. Give me a second. Hold on. I can't find it. Where they said it in court. Man, that is the funniest thing that I've heard in a long time. They said she got that gorilla grip. I'm going to see if I can find it. Hold on. Give me a second. Hold on. I'm going to see if I can find it. When I seen that video, when y'all told me that, I said, oh my God, that is the funniest thing that I've ever heard in my entire life. Let me see if I can find it.
What's the owner name of this phone?
It's Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Okay.
Ah! Oh, man. Come on, man. Listen, bro. I don't know if y'all ever had any. Y'all didn't hear about that? Let me play it one more time. This is what they said in court.
What's the owner name of this phone?
It's Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Let me tell you something, bro. When you look at Fani Willis, right? And you look at that muffin top, and you look at that bad attitude. Woo! There's a reason why he stayed, I guess. Ain't nothing like staying with a 53-year-old gorilla grip pal. Y'all ain't know nothing about that. Oh, tell me this ain't yo, the likes is too low for us to be getting started on foolishness today. If y'all don't get the likes up, we just gonna have to go ahead and end this early because I got things to do anyway. So it ain't like I ain't got nothing to catch up on. If y'all don't get these likes up, the likes is just too low and we are the best news show on earth. That's a fact. Listen, I don't want nothing that's a gorilla grip. I've had, my life has been unique. My life has been unique. But I'm I'm too old. I'm too old. You know, you ain't about to have me on no heart medication dealing with no chick that call herself Gorilla Grip, Pussy P. You can forget it. I'm straight. I'm good. So, yeah, they saying that they got more evidence that Gorilla Grip P, Fani Willis, is y'all know they say women get more sexual as they get older. But this is not after hours. This is not after hours. This is the Millionaire Morning Show, so we got to move on. Last but not least, shout out to Gorilla Grip. Online dating dangers. Y'all got to be careful with these apps, y'all.
We begin with a date night turned nightmare on Valentine's Day. A man was found badly beaten in a parking lot hours after going out with a woman he'd just met online.
He's still in the ICU right now. And as News 4's Dylan Brown reports, the victim's brother fears he'll never recover.
A man found almost beaten to death half naked in this Oklahoma City apartment complex parking lot. His twin brother tells me he's distraught, says it's a stark warning for anyone dating online.
You know, he's a loving father. He'd do anything for anybody.
Just off I-240 in South Oklahoma City, Derek Schlesinger nearly lost his life on Valentine's Day night. Derek can't speak. He can hardly breathe on his own. Daniel, his twin brother, says his date allegedly planned it all.
It was pretty much a setup.
His brother met a woman through Facebook dating, Journey Ivy.
The first time he hung out with her that night.
After the date, she allegedly wanted to stop by her place, here at the Seminole Ridge Apartments. So he did. He drove in, he parked, she got out, and when she came back, the unthinkable happened. In came her brother, Thomas Jones, who then allegedly beat Derek several times. Derek found by police the next morning, naked from the waist down in the parking lot. He was rushed to intensive care.
He's attempting to breathe on his own right now. Fractures from like his upper lip all the way to the back of his skull.
Using cell phone data, police tracked his car to Ada. Later found Ivy allegedly texted Derek hours after apologizing for running away. Then essentially admitting to the crime in a text to a friend, writing, "Me and my bro hit a lick last night, then we got into a major accident." Police say hit a lick is slang for committing a robbery. Now Ivy and Jones both locked up. Derek slowly recovering.
He's fighting for his life right now.
In Oklahoma City, Dylan Brown, Oklahoma's News 4.
Wish him.
Now, let's really break this down. You see this innocent white man? Look, this happens to people all across the board. Remember when y'all keep on telling me, no, Anton, you so out of touch? And I say, hey, man, be careful, bro. Don't let no chick know where you live. Don't be so desperate that y'all be trying to see it through. She invited you back to her place, and now you about to go over there thinking about you about to get some box. Now you in a coma. Now you're in a coma. Leslie, Aaron, you are absolutely correct. Women predators are all over dating sites. Y'all have to be careful. The white people are doing the same thing as y'all think that black people is doing, and they saying, hey, fam, I think we hit a lick. They don't know that your cell phone data is triangulating. Look at this guy. You see this evil man right here? Hey, bro, my sister on a date. She about to bring him back. Texting back and forth. We about to hit a lick on the boy. I'm telling you, be very, very careful. Stop thinking that you about to go out with these chicks and you about to get some box. Stop meeting them and then taking them back to your place feeling comfortable. Stop doing all of this stuff. This is not the move. I'm telling you. I'm telling you that it only take one chance. Somebody said something to me when I was going off of y'all about Tiffany Henry yesterday. And they said, Anton, what you mean? What? It only take one situation for you to get caught slipping. See, I got to be on point 100% of the time. I can't miss. You only got to catch me missing once, and that's why I don't slip. I don't take chances. I don't slip. I ain't about to be out here crashing out. I'm not be sitting here negotiating, going back and forth with you. No, I don't know you. I'm not kicking it. I will never. I don't care if I'm single as ever. I will never join a dating app. I'm not that trusting. I don't care. Yo, I didn't change my name on the DoorDash app because people started coming up and saying, "Oh man, Anton, I seen your name pop up. I couldn't wait to come and deliver to you." I was like, and I know that they was just cool and they was kicking it, but what if somebody that's a little bit of more unsavory get the DoorDash delivery? Now I know you got to go through the concierge at the front door and then got to go through the security doors and all of that. That's it doesn't matter. It only take one situation, and so y'all got to be careful because these women are the quickest way to get a dude set up. They will have you in a coma, not being able to speak, talking about he was a good person, and meanwhile they texting back and forth talking about they hit a lick. Nah. Nope. Not me. Not Anton from AntonDaniels.com, but that's your quick hits. Let me acknowledge a couple of super chats that came in that I missed. Charles Pride. Shout out to Charles Pride. Charles Pride hit me off. He said, much love to you and the fam. App, keep doing you big dog. He said, you big dog. Shout out to Charles Pride. Martin Meck says, morning fam. Feelings temporary. This is bag for life. Shout out to the Chasers. I appreciate you guys, and shout out to your car for being one of the greatest mods ever. Shout out to the people that's holding me down. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I want to acknowledge a couple more super chats because I do not miss. I don't want to miss one chat. Ray Ranger Bear says, how do I get a coaching call? Email me. AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. People was looking at me because I told the story about I went to the restaurant, sat at the bar to get something to eat, got into a conversation with a chick next to me, and then she started talking, no, I'm chilling. I'm good. Oh, Anton, I can't believe. No, you the type of dude to get set up. Yeah, email me at AntonDaniels413. All business inquiries go to AntonDaniels413@gmail.com. Thank you for looking out for me, big dog. Daryl Pullen says, just join the Chasers. Yeah, I seen that come in. I seen that email. Bag Chasers. Link to the Patreon is right there. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreons. Daryl Pullens is getting it. Chris J says, not the news explaining hit a lick. They just reading the text messages. Hey, don't y'all know that everywhere you go, Apple Watch, text messages, Ring cameras, it's all triangulated. It's cameras on top. They can see your license. Everything that you do is being recorded. Everything. Your position, text messages. Now, that don't protect you from being set up, but it also says that y'all not situationally aware that y'all out here supposedly hitting licks, and they notice you before you even get away. They already know it's you. That's why they're not in a rush, because they want you to get comfortable before they can come and arrest you. Shout out to my dog, Chris J. I appreciate you. Y'all out here, yeah, man, hit a lick. Y'all ain't never seen The Wire? You still didn't see what happened to Stringer Bell? All right, technology is not on your side if you're a criminal today. All right, let's go ahead and get straight into the show, ladies and gentlemen. First and foremost, well, nope, that's not what we want to talk about. That's not the first one. First and foremost, it's a rematch. It's a rematch. Yeah, after Super Tuesday, we are official. Brother Mouzone, it was not only just Brother Mouzone that got him Trini life. It was Brother Mouzone and Omar coming. Brother Mouzone and Omar got him at the same time. Yep. Omar coming. We got a rematch, y'all. Same thing that we had in 2020. We got it back in 2024. All right, let me bring y'all up to date of what Super Tuesday was. A lot of y'all may not be familiar with it. What happened on Super Tuesday, and then I want to give y'all the speech that Trump gave because Biden didn't give a speech. I would play both. But Biden didn't give a speech, but Trump did. But let me bring y'all up to date on what happened on Super Tuesday yesterday.
Well, Pix 11 is your local election headquarters, and today millions of Americans across the U.S. are headed to the polls to cast ballots in presidential primaries and caucuses.
Yeah, Super Tuesday is called that because it's a huge day that will shape the presidential election with more than a dozen states voting. And tonight we can already share some results with you. Washington correspondent Hannah Brandt joins us live with more. Hannah.
Corey, Shirley, good evening. The results are really looking like we expected, with big wins across the board for President Biden and former President Trump.
With hundreds of delegates up for grabs, Super Tuesday seems to be pulling the country closer to a Trump-Biden rematch.
The poll numbers are very good. We're beating President Biden in almost every poll.
The last 5 polls, you guys don't report. I'm winning 5 in a row.
Both former President Donald
Eric, I know you don't like Trump, but tell me this. Just tell me this. Eric, before we continue, when you look at this guy and he's talking, does this look like a leader of the free world right here? Hold on.
President Biden in almost every poll.
The last 5.
Listen to this guy. Look at this guy talk to the camera before he gets on Air Force One. Okay? Just look at this guy.
5 polls, you guys don't report. I'm winning 5 in a row.
Both former
Jesus Christ. Let's continue.
President Donald Trump and President Joe Biden are closing in on their party's nominations and focusing on taking on each other in the general election.
We can do better than 2 80-year-old candidates for president.
Former Governor Nikki Haley spent the last few days hopping state to state, working to rally Republican voters.
It is time for a new generational leader who can leave the negativity and the baggage behind.
But the election
That's not you, ma'am.
math is stacking up against her. And even as she has continued trying to take on Trump, her path to the nomination is getting narrower.
So we all know that Nikki Haley actually dropped off and she's no longer in the race, even though she won't necessarily endorse the person that's at the top of her party. But Trump came in and he gave a speech and he gave his thoughts. I have not seen it yet, so we're going to see it for the first time. Biden didn't give a speech at all, but this is the anticipated rematch that we all was waiting for, that we all knew was coming. And now it's up to the people, right? We removed every barrier. Supreme Court ruled, hey, listen, Colorado, all of these other states that's trying to finesse, y'all can't keep them off the ballot. It's up to the people to determine who's going to be the president of the United States of America, right? And we know that Super Tuesday is out of the way, so now we basically officially got the Trump-Biden rematch, or we can say Biden light, Kamala Harris. We don't know who the vice president candidate is going to be on Trump's side, but I'm sure we're going to figure that out later. Let's continue.
Let's go to Mar-a-Lago and listen in. I think the president is about to begin speaking.
Thank you very much. They call it Super Tuesday for a reason. This is a big one. And they tell me, the pundits and otherwise, that there's never been one like this. There's never been anything so conclusive. This was an amazing night, an amazing day. It's been an incredible period of time in our country's history. It's been sad in so many ways, but I think it's going to be inspiring because we're going to do something that, frankly, nobody's been able to do for a long time. We've watched our country take a great beating over the last 3 years, and nobody thought a thing like this would be possible. We wouldn't have Russia attacking Ukraine. We wouldn't have Israel being attacked. Iran, as you know, was broke. When I was running things, they were broke. They didn't have money for Hamas. They didn't have money for Hezbollah. We had no inflation. Inflation is destroying the middle class. It's destroying everything. Inflation, if you look back over the history, hundreds of years back, inflation is called a country buster. And that's what it's doing to our country. What's happened with inflation has been unbelievable. A lot of people say, a lot of experts have said the stock market's the only thing that's doing well, and that's doing well because our poll numbers are so much higher than Joe Biden's.
I'm sorry. I had muted it for a second. We back. The one thing about Trump, I will say, I got it. I'm back. Thank you guys for continuing to hold me down. The one thing I will say about Trump, It'd be some slight cap in that rap. There'd be some cap in that rap, big dog. He said it was no inflation. He said it was no inflation. Nah. Come on, fam. It's always been inflation. It's always been inflation. So it wasn't inflation to the point to where Biden had it. Now, Biden had inflation at over 10%. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what is happening out here in these streets? So, but it is some cap in that rap. Listen. It was some inflation. So, he gonna mix in the good with the bad, and he gonna make himself look good. I gotta be objective. I still think that he's the best person for the job, but I gotta be objective. It's some cap in that rap. It was definitely inflation. It's always been inflation for every single president, right? Yeah, I got you, Fi Brown. We on top of it. I'll be looking to see if I'm muted often. Even when I ain't even got my hand by the button, I'll be looking to see if I'm muted. But it was definitely inflation. But good God, during the Biden administration, we was talking about inflation.
He's the worst president in the history of our country. There's never been anything like what's happening to our country. Today it was announced that 325,000 people were flown in from parts unknown. Migrants were flown in airplane, not going through borders, not going through that great Texas barrier that I was with the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, the other day, and we were looking at the job they're doing. But in the meantime, they're pouring into California and they're pouring into Arizona.
Facts.
Because those governors aren't doing anything. They're doing nothing. But today it was just announced before I came out. It was unbelievable. I said, that must be a mistake. They flew 325,000 migrants, flew them in over the borders into our country. So that really tells you where they're coming from. They want open borders, and open borders are going to destroy our country. We need borders and we need free and fair elections, or we don't have a country. This is an incredible group of people. So many celebrities that I'm not going to introduce any because I'm just going to get myself in trouble if I do that, because I'll leave out most of you. But this is a room chock full of incredible, talented people, like some of the guys standing right in front of me, right? Big futures, big, fat, beautiful futures. Oh, I'd love to be your age. I'd pay you a lot of money to be your age. But we have some tremendously talented people in this room, including tremendously talented political people that have helped me right from the beginning. We had the safest border in the history of our country. We built 571 miles of wall. We had Mexico supply us with 28,000 soldiers because we wanted them, that's why. And they said, we won't do that. I said, yes, you will, you will. And in the end, they did. It was an easy negotiation, but we had the safest border, the best numbers we've ever had, and now we have the worst numbers probably in the history of the world. It's sad to see what's happening to our cities. Our cities are being overrun with migrant crime, and that's Biden migrant crime. But it's a new category of crime, and it's violent, where they'll stand in the middle of a street and have fistfights with police officers, and if they did that in their countries from where they came, they'd be killed instantly.
And that is a true statement. Listen, you go over into these places, we seen women go over into different countries over the past year, and they got arrested for even talking back and forth with certain people in other countries. They be over here throwing blows, kicking police officers, fighting. They killing people. They getting entitled. They got whole crime syndicates that they done set up. And honestly, we become numb to it. We become numb to it. We become so numb to what's going on that we don't even think twice about it. Whereas when you go over into another country, you're going to have to gird up. You're going to have to gird up. and be very, very careful. Don't spit in the street wrong. Don't do nothing. When in Rome, you do as the Romans do. But I guess they come over here and they said, hey, y'all over here protesting against the police. Why we can't beat them up? And we going to get out of jail? And we going to throw up the middle finger while we walking out of jail? Disrespectful. That's true. That's 100% true.
Instantly. They wouldn't do that. So the world is laughing at us. The world is taking advantage of us. 3 years ago, we were at a level, we were energy independent. We were going to be very shortly energy dominant. And today we're getting oil from Venezuela. Can you believe it?
Well, maybe that's why.
Doing numbers on that oil. You know what we're doing? We're refining the oil. We have our refinery for that oil. It's really, I call it tar. It's not oil. It's terrible. We have real stuff. But we're refining it in Houston. So for all of the environmentalists, you ought to look at that, because all of that tar is going right up into the atmosphere. You just ought to take a look. It's the only plant that can do it. We have the only plants that can take tar and make it into oil, and that's what it is. It's a shame. But we were energy independent. We were going to be energy dominant. We were going to be supplying oil to Europe, all over the world, and then a tragic thing happened during the election. It was a tragedy, because you wouldn't have, think of it, all of the problems that you have today, I don't think you would have had any of them. You'd only have success, and that's what's ultimately going to unify this country and unify this party. We have a great Republican Party with tremendous...
Listen, guys, you would only have success if only you would have did things differently in 2020. You wouldn't have any of these problems right now. Now, I do believe, based off of the track record that he had in 2020 or 2016 through 2020, I do believe that we wouldn't have had a lot of the problems that we have. But I do believe that we would have had some of the problems. But I do, honestly. It's when you look back over the last 4 years, we can't, under no circumstances, we just can't have the same 4 years that happened as we had over the last 4 years. Of all of the things that we stand for or what we divide ourselves against, I mean, honestly, we gotta agree on that. If we can't agree on nothing, we gotta agree on the idea that we just can't have the same thing that we had over the last 4 years. That last 4 years was tiring. It was a tiring time. People are exhausted. The last 4 years felt like 10. We all aged like 10 years. Y'all trying to figure out where all of that grade come from? Last 4 years? Last 4 years was stressful for everybody. People was trying to figure it out. They didn't know what was going on. We had so many different things all going on at the same time. They was forcing jabs on us and telling us we couldn't even travel to certain cities or take care of business. I even made some compromising decisions myself personally. I said, listen, of all of the time that I done been alive, the only 2 times that has been difficult was during the 2008s. That around that time, that whole segment, that I'm going to blame some on Bush. I'm going to blame a lot of it on Bush. I'm not going to blame it all on Obama. Obama ain't do no great job either, in my opinion. He seemed to be the right person for the job, but that second term, I was like, I don't really know if we really got what we thought we was going to get out of him. And the Bush was bad. Shout out to the Bush, the second Bush. The second Bush was terrible. Terrible. A lot of y'all may not be as old as me. Some of y'all may be a little bit older than me, but I think we all can agree that the second Bush was terrible. And then when we look back at what we got from Obama, we was like, what did we really do outside of champion the alphabet community? Terrible, 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 terrible. So when we finally got something that worked for us, somehow we got this short memory. And in these last 4 years, it's been tiring. So we went from terrible to tiring. Second Bush was trash. Obama was garbage. Biden, we took Obama was bad, and then we took Biden, and he was Obama's vice president, and then we got Cam coming up right behind him. So, Cam is coming too. Terrible. Second Bush was horrible. Listen, I don't care nothing about what party you from. I know what was bad, and all of that was bad. It was absolutely bad. When they look back in history, they're going to be like, ooh, what was y'all doing in y'all voting patterns? Y'all was just horrible. Horrible in y'all voting patterns. And then we got finessed with the planes. I ain't going to get into that because then they're going to be like, Anton, you being a conspiracy theorist. I ain't mentioning it. I don't know nothing. Y'all still think that, let me be quiet before I get myself in trouble. Let me read a couple of super chats and we're going to move on. Bag for Bag says he talking about bingo matches. Shout out to you, Bag for Bag. Shout out to you. Pookie's friend Ray Ray says, it's horrible. Trump not all, or hopefully he can help me get my truck back from the migrants because I don't have insurance. I ain't said nothing, Chris. I just looked at the footage. I was looking at the footage like, so wait a minute. You telling me that the fuel burned through the whole bottom and everything just is structural integrity? That's interesting. So what made that other building over there collapse? Did the fuel get on that too? Let me be quiet, bro. I was looking. I said, that's weird. Eric Daniels says, Anton, this election will come down to the migrant issue versus women's rights. Plain and simple, whatever happens, I rock with. I'll rock with you too, Eric. I rock with my dog, Eric. Listen, we agree to disagree. Sometimes we agree, but we got to get to it. Chris James says, checking to see if my profile picture changed. He said, I got a new profile picture. Hey, boo. Yeah. Yeah. And Bush just still walking around like not a big deal. I'm out of there, Brittany. I'm chilling. JP says Venezuela is rejecting migrants sent from the U.S. and Mexico. Oh, God, I know. Yakima James says, I've sat back and silently watched and listened to a lot of your videos, and I appreciate all of the content. It has made me do a lot of soul searching and evaluation. God bless you and to continue to do the work. Look at my ladies. Look at my ladies. Look at my ladies is out here doing something. Don't tell me that the ladies ain't doing the work. I know my ladies. You know why? Because I got my ladies. I talk to them all the time. Yakima, I love you, baby. And thank you. Thank you for always supporting and doing the work and continuing to be the best version of yourself. You are absolutely awesome. All right, y'all, let's continue. So here's an interesting debate that people are starting to have. And the debate is, should you or shouldn't you support Trump if you're a black person? I got you, Shrap. I got you, our streets. I got you, Kate Cooper. Sister, what's up, sister? The question is, and the debate is, that's raging, as though we didn't already have this debate in 2020. Chris James, it's different now. I like that. We're going to get to that in a second. The question is, should we be on code? Should people be able to tell us and determine what we do and who we vote for? And if we don't, are we still black? Now, I'm not telling you who to vote for. What I am telling you is that we need to start making sure that we think for ourselves. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications.
Voters are hitting the polls for Super Tuesday, the biggest day of the presidential primary season so far. Republicans are holding nominating contests in 15 states and Democrats in 15 states and one territory. President Biden, of course, secured overwhelming support from black voters back in 2020, but new polling shows that backing could be declining. The recent New York Times Siena poll shows 23% support among black voters for former President Trump. That's up 19 points since a similar poll just before the 2020 election. A new article from Baratunde Thurston, a writer for Puck News and host of the How to Citizen podcast, outlines a shift for enthusiasm for President Biden among black voters, and he joins us now to break down the dilemma. Baratunde, I read you religiously at Puck. Break down to our viewers. I mean, on one hand, they hear former President Trump suggesting that because he's been indicted all
and
these
has
times
a mugshot.
and has a mugshot and also has now, sneakers, that's going to gain him traction with African-American voters.
I see you, Chris. I'm going to read that
I didn't
shortly.
even see that I was doing that. Very good.
Thank you, Chris.
But help me understand what's driving this shift in support for President Biden to Donald Trump.
Thanks, Vlad and Marie, for having me. Happy Super Tuesday, and I hope everybody who can will go out and vote in this election. It is not the sneakers. It is not the shoes. And I think it is important to emphasize, as Pastor Michael McBride, who I interviewed for this piece, said, Trump's life is not available to you, bro. Like, we can't be out here, no matter how fly our sneakers are, with 91 counts against us, hosting rallies and pursuing the presidency of the United States. There's definitely a double standard there. But what I found is that there are 3 or 4 parts of the puzzle. The overall, we got to understand, is a game of margins. There's not a huge Blexit of black people exiting the Democratic Party. But when elections come down to tens of thousands of votes in a handful of states, every vote counts. And there are some that are not willing to be counted for Joe Biden. For instance, there are issues of concern about the economy, justice agenda, and basically promises made that haven't been fully delivered on. There's challenges with how this administration has supported Israel in its bombardment and invasion in response to the Hamas October 7th attack in Gaza. And there's a failure of this idea of saving democracy not being tangible for so many people on the ground who don't experience democracy. That kind of message doesn't fully resonate with enough people. So we're starting to see some of his numbers slip from 91% in the last election down to as low as 75%. Again, massive majority, but margins count.
That is.
Now, let me say something, and let me tell you why this guy is wrong. He's not entirely wrong, but he's really not understanding what's happening in the streets. So you got to be careful with a lot of these guys that talk the way that they talk, okay? Let me tell you what the truth is from somebody that covers what's happening in the streets on a regular basis. Let me tell you the truth. Black people don't care nothing about what his shoes is doing. They don't. It's easy for people that's on the other side, objectively, to use that as an excuse to try to diminish the idea that you can think for yourself and that you're not experiencing what you're experiencing. We're not tripping off that. Is that a funny thing? I don't know anybody that is saying that they're going to change their vote based off of the fact that they seen some gold shoes come out. I know nobody that is going to change their vote based off of a mugshot. 0 people. Let me tell you what's really happening, okay? Because they want to conflate. They want to lie to you. They want to say that you're influenced by trinkets. It's not true. What's really happening is this. People are lifing, and life is kicking people's tails. Because see, listen, we know what hard times look like. Very few people do not know what hard times look like, especially black people. Very few of us. Most of us, we try to forget the stuff that we went through because we trying to teach our kids and our daughters and our sons a different way of life. Sometimes we even overcompensate and we give them too much and we spoil our children, sometimes rotten, and then we got to pull them back into the front of the congregation because we don't want to go back to what we've been through. So when you say something like, for example, what happened in 2008? What happened in 2008 was a travesty. But we remember that because a lot of us is old enough to still remember what we was going through. It was rough. It was rough, right? But see, this is different. And it woke us up, because it's one thing to have a housing crisis that was manufactured, not have no bankers really go to jail as a result of it, let it be manufactured under different presidents' terms, and then everybody getting finessed as a result of it, and everybody got to suffer. Because the one thing that we all can rejoice in, and I see black people a lot of times running in the Victim Olympics, and I call it for what it is, right? If we see somebody else is going through what we going through, we like, okay, all right, you know what? I'm suffering, but they suffering too. So at least we going to suffer together, and we going to try to make some lemonade out of these lemons. But what's happened in 2020 through 2024 was different. It's a completely different game, because it's a shell game. And the shell game is this. It's a perception of success. They're going to sell you on the idea that unemployment numbers are low and we're raising wages. But what they're not telling you is that your money is going less far. It's not going as far as it was going at any other time in history, because you, even with your raise, you still getting your car repossessed. And so if in good times you suffering, you like, what the heck is this? Because if you working every day and you still don't feel like you making no traction, because see, we could deal with the ebbs and flows. We're used to having boom and bust cycles. Hey man, when it's good, it's good. When it's bad, we just gonna have to buckle down. But this is weird for a lot of people, specifically black people, because it's a perception of success. In reality, when that rent moratorium is hitting, and that's why they tried to push it off as far as they could right before the election, it's a lot of people that's getting evicted, but they never stop working. It's a lot of people that got raises, but their money don't go as far. It's a lot of people that bought new cars, but then they one paycheck away from losing everything. It's a lot more people making $100,000 a year, but they live in a worse life, and the quality of their life has went down significantly. And so when you start to factor all of these things in, and then you combine it with the idea that we got to endure 4 more years that may not even be as good as bad as the last 4 is, then it's a completely different conversation. So when we start having this conversation, let's have it in truth. They trying to act like you dumb. They trying to act like you ignorant. They trying to act like you like trinkets. And they trying to act like the facade is over your eyes. People are making an informed decision. And more importantly, what I see amongst black people is that they're starting to become even more educated than ever before. And I'm not saying educated just as it relates to going to school. I'm talking about educated as far as educating themselves and becoming more informed with policy. They tuned in with people. You know, I heard Boyce Watkins say one time, black people don't like financial literacy. That's trash to them. That's boring to them. Use a lie. The one thing that I know that people want to do is get the money. They just don't want to try to figure it out while watching paint dry, because you're boring. And so when you can try to engage them a little bit differently to help them to understand, because you don't understand how people learn, you don't understand that they move a little. I ain't going to give you the game. Get a coaching call so we can get your numbers up. Get a coaching call so you can get your numbers up. But people ain't dumb. People are not dumb. They know better. They know that you pulling the okie doke from under their eyes. They know that you bought a new car, and you're going to say, yeah, you bought a new car, but guess what? You can't afford the insurance. And yeah, you bought a new home, but you can't really afford the interest rates, and the PMI and the property taxes is exploding. And the cost associated with maintaining that home, you finessed them. That they overpaying for services that they not really getting. That all of their dollars is going into the community for migrants and not for them. It's different. They want to work. They want to do better, but they don't want to be finessed. Listen, it's one thing for you to tell me and talk abrasive to me about the fact that I ain't And see, that's the thing that people are going, Anton, I don't like the way you talk to me. You disrespectful. And then I say, but was it the truth though? And they may walk away mad, but they can't say that I finessed them. But it's another thing to think that you got finessed. Y'all ever been with a woman or been in a strip club or went somewhere and, you found out that you got finessed the next day? it hurt more. You know what I'm saying? You thought that you had got 100 ones, but it was really 90 in there because the club tricked you. Or you watched the TikTok the next day and you realized the booth that you paid for and the bottle that you paid for was watered down liquor. It ain't even give you listen, give me what I paid for. We're not getting what we paid for. That's the difference. See, it's one thing to pay for the box and be like, but I had a good time yesterday. It's another thing to wake up and realize that the person that you laying next to, they look different when they take their makeup off. You know what I'm saying? Because people will see it through. They'll slay the dragon. But they don't want you to lie to them and tell them that it was a dragon and it was really a bear that mauled you the next day. You get what I'm saying. Let me read a little. Let me look a little bit more of this video.
Is really, really fascinating. You've seen with his campaign, it really did kind of start with this defender of democracy narrative, and then they've started to change that dialogue as maybe they're realizing that it's just not hitting people. You brought up something else, though, the conflict in the Middle East. One of the things that we have been seeing.
One thing for her to put on a lot of makeup. It's another thing when she take that waist trainer off, though, right? Hey, what was all in that package? What's all? Because you can't make her keep the waist trainer on the whole time because then she ain't gonna be able to breathe. She keep her makeup on, she gonna mess up your pillows, but you ain't even necessarily got to keep her there. But when she take that waist trainer off and all of that spill out, like I took you to dinner and I took you to Ruth Chris or Benny Ha. I took you to J. Alexander's. I took you to Ocean Prime. You cheated me. Now, it's one thing if we playing pretending you going to keep the makeup on. Okay, I'm with it. But it's another thing when you took the waist trainer off. I didn't sign up for that. Get out of my house. Get out my house. Get out my house. I'll let you play pretend, but at the same time, I ain't signed up for that.
Seeing are black pastors, black churches organizing in support of Palestinians. Is that having an impact on Biden's support among black voters?
I am sure it is having an impact. And I want to be so holistic in my representation of what I think is going on here. This is not simply a case of black Americans or black voters choosing a side over another side, but there is a flagrant humanitarian crisis playing out. There are orders of magnitude, massive amounts of death, of starvation, of siege that are playing out, and an administration which was very slow to call for any sort of humanitarian pause, humanitarian corridors in this conflict. And these pastors, one of whom I spoke to, are feeling this from not just their parishioners, but their community and their constituents. There is, as one of them put it to me, a moral conundrum here. And there's a level of frustration that so much U.S. money and U.S. weaponry, so essentially in our names, is going to what's playing out on everybody's screens and everybody's pockets and everybody's phones. So there was a deep sense of catastrophe playing out, not only from afar, but that we are playing a role in. And that
No. He's wrong again. It's different, big dog. You want me to explain it to you from a C student's perspective? They don't care about where the money is going out there. They care about the fact that the money ain't going in their pockets and helping their own communities. They're not looking at no humanitarian crisis. They looking in their own backyard and saying, hold on, big dog. You told me there wasn't no money in my community for the last 20 years, but y'all found some money for the migrant crisis. I'm telling you what black people really saying. They looking at Brandon Johnson and they saying, I'm looking at you, you looking at me, I'm looking at you, and you looking at me, and you told me that there wasn't no money for the community center, and I was cool with that. I still voted you in. But don't sit here and tell me it ain't no money, but then y'all going into debt over here funding the migrant crisis, and we don't know who over there from these out-of-state companies that's making all of these hundreds of millions of dollars, and y'all paying $30 million a month in order to support it. The equivalent of $1 million a day. So y'all trying to replace me, huh? You replacing my vote? You keep telling me it ain't no money for the police officers, but at the same time, you got these migrants that's running amok in the community. Y'all housing them inside of the police station. You think that we forgot? You think what was happening over in Chicago? You think you sold me on something and then you pulled the rug right from under me? Y'all keep saying that y'all a sanctuary city. You spend more time spending money on migrants than you do taking care of the people within their own community. See, let me tell you something about black people. They resourceful. They may not like it, but they can deal with the fact that, okay, listen, the hood is messed up. I don't like it. Pookie and Ray Ray over there robbing people. The Kia boys is over there. I ain't gonna snitch, but I'm not happy about it. There's another thing for you to tell me that the wool is over my ass and it ain't no migrant crisis and we ain't got no money, but then you spending it all on the people that ain't even from here. Listen, I don't know what Nappy Beard over here is saying. I don't know what No Hairline over here is saying. Listen, they can put them in front of you and they can make their hair look whatever they want. They can say, hey, don't comb your hair for the next 7 months and stand in front of the people and posture and then speak well. I'm going to tell you the truth. We can deal with a lot of things, but you're not going to take my money and spend it on somebody else and tell me that I'm crazy. You can have these plants all on. Let me see what he's saying. Let me see.
That is a very hard pill for some people to swallow, even as they also stand with a lot of the alliances we have experienced with the Jewish community here in this country. But
what alliances? What alliances? Didn't they cancel Ye? Didn't they cancel Ye? What is this guy talking about? Where is he from? Who is this guy? What's his name? Where'd he come from? There's no clue. There's no clue. Listen, everybody that call themselves earthy don't necessarily, they not necessarily connected to their chakras and their ancestors, and they can't necessarily tell you nothing. I'm going to just tell you the truth. The reality is that they tired, boss. Listen, they going to work every day. Some of them ain't going to work every day. They getting evicted. They kids is bad. The police ain't doing nothing no more. See, at least they could have complained about the police and said, hey, man, the police is out here shaking us up and they beating us up. And I don't like it because the police is evil and they keep doing stop and frisk. And F the police. And we can make a song about it. But now they can't even blame nobody because the police like, we not coming. See, it's one thing to fight against somebody and say, hey, listen, it's just like the chat. It's just like what would you do if you couldn't fight against me every day? For everybody that's hate watching right now, let's be honest. We need each other. For everybody that's hate watching right now, we need each other. You need to hate me. I need you for the motivation to continue to make you look like an idiot. And it's a perfect balance. It's a yin and a yang. You hate me. I think you look dumb. I think you broke. And it's a perfect balance. But it's entertaining because it gives you the motivation to do what you do. And it gives me the motivation to do what I do. It's like Batman and Joker. Without no villain to fight, we just looking at each other stupid. We don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? We need each other. But you're not going to come in as the enemy and mess up. Listen, Batman and Joker have been fighting since I was born. But we're not going to have Miguel come in here from Venezuela and mess up what we got going on. Listen, we understand each other. We understand. It's people in this chat. We go back and forth. Listen, I know who they are. They are what they are. Listen, they dusty. We rock with them. It don't make no difference. They like the bad little kid. But you're not going to come in our house because, see, listen, if me and you fighting, that's one thing. But you're not going to come in here and disrespect my little Dusties over here because my Dusty's been dustying for a long time. It's almost like when you and your brother fight, right? Or you and your homie fight, and then they come in and they say, yeah, but your brother is Dusty. And I'm like, who you talking to? He might be Dusty, but that's my brother. That's my Dusty, bro. I can call him Dusty. You can't call him Dusty. Black people know how to understand and adjust. The relationship between them and their adversaries
and they victim Olympians and all of that has been existing for a long time. But you're not going to come in and mess it up. Now the police don't even show up no more. We ain't even got nothing to advocate against because Miguel is over there. I'm just saying. I'm going to break it down to you from a real. See, they're not going to tell you this on Fox News. They're not going to tell you this on CBS. They're not going to tell you this on CNN. They're going to tell you all of the fluff. They're going to get these guys that look extra dusty and extra earthy, and they're going to tell you all of the stuff that you want to hear. They're not going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. Listen, there's one thing for me to call you dusty, but he can't call you dusty because he don't even know how dusty you are. And that's a fact, though. So you can say what you want to say, but you keep your thoughts to yourself. And you right, sis. And Miguel is out there getting away with murder. Chris James is in the building and says, it did not. What about now? Said, how about now? It's not, I don't think that it's going to update. It updates in the chat, but I don't think that it's going to update on my screen. All right, because I got to reset the software. So you don't have to worry about it, Chris. I appreciate you. I do know that you changed it up, though. I seen you looking different, big dog. Sleepy Domain says, how many bank failures do you foresee? A lot. Banks always fail. Banks have always been failing since the beginning of time. That's nothing new. Antonio Wagner says, I dropped my mother off at the senior citizens place. I believe I see Biden playing bingo and he was confused on why he didn't win. Biden is out here in these streets. Hold on. Blake Fields, you got it right, says, Anton is the only one that can talk about me tricking off. That's correct. Chris James says, listen, cool, I feel beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl. Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl. That was my jam right there. Snoop Dogg Croson. Yeah. Listen, your profile picture did change, but I just got to reboot the software. But I do appreciate you. Thank you, Chris James, for holding me down, big dog. I love you. I love you. Beautiful. I just want you to know you're my favorite girl. Sportsaholic says Bush's brother Marvin was in charge of security of all of the trade towers. We ain't going to say nothing. We ain't even going to say nothing. Shout out to Sportsaholic. Enforcer 2K9 says, it's 2024. Why do we still have black codes? I don't know. I have no clue. MP says, finally caught a Stock Club live and the content is golden. The content is golden. Listen, I'm going to re-upload that live stream for y'all to restream it. If you're not a part of the Patreon, link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Shout out to my girl MP. MP in the building. MP in the building says, hey, yo, black people need to stop voting on popularity and vote based off of what's beneficial to our livelihood. I agree. Hallelujah. Shout out to my dog, Ash. Ash says, AD, what does pigmentation have to do with who you vote for? Nothing. No, that's the finesse. And what does Trump's mugshot in relation to black people say about black culture? You know what it say. They trying to say that we ain't, let me be quiet. We not policy-based, we politic-based. You know what I'm saying? Are so-called black people a propagandized, brainwashed race? Just curious. We absolutely are. 100%. Thank you, Ash. Wealth Building Journey says, watch what I say, Tom. Migrants are getting the right to vote over the summer. I need you to stay on top of that story. Stay on top of, listen, you know I'm on it. You know I got this. Sure, you know I got this. Shout out to my dog, Jaquel. Says, mood written with the smiley face. Oh, shout out to Jaquel with the super sticker. I appreciate you for the super sticker, big dog. A man one says, what's sad is that all our people hate to see another person win who looks like them. Ash, shout out to my dog Ash, says, Miguel took the spotlight. Guess what, black people? You voted for it. Viva Biden, Viva Biden. Viva Biden, Viva Biden. All right, y'all. Let's pivot. Let's make this a little bit more fun, a little bit more engaging, right? Because I know that it's this lady and her name is Reesa Tessa. Reesa Teesa. Now, I tried to cover a little bit of this, but I didn't know where the reference was on After Hours. But now I'm familiar with it because the people kept me in the loop. And Reesa Tessa, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Reesa Tessa recently was the woman that did like a 50-part series. A 50-part series where she was basically breaking down all of the ways that she got finessed by some man. Anton from AntonDaniels.com was not in any way, shape, or form going to look at that or visit it. But I heard she was getting a bag from that. I heard that she got free cars, free trips, love, all of this stuff. Michael, you said your wife get on your nerve about Reesa Tessa. Do y'all believe everything that she said? Big Back Lives Matters. Do y'all believe that story? I didn't listen to it, so I don't know whether to believe it or not. I feel like I would be able to tell whether there's some big cap in that rap or what. 50. I heard that it was like over 6 hours long. Well, I tell you what, she definitely smart. She definitely getting the bag from it. And she figuring out how to monetize it. She went from talking on the phone to figuring out how to run a bag up with regard to it. But I heard that she was a little pissed. Charlamagne said that she was giving big back energy. I don't know what that means. Big back energy. She said, have I seen her ex? No, we could try to figure it out, though. Let me see if I can pull it up. Big back energy. Reesa Tessa X. Is that him? This guy right here? Hold on, I'm going to pull him up. I'm going to pull him up. Charlamagne the God said that she was giving big back energy. Big back. Is this him right here? Yeah, he looked like a finesser. What's his name? Jerome? Is that his name, Jerome? Oh, I said Jerome in the house. Jerome in the house. I said Jerome in the house. That's his name, Jerome. Jerome McCoy. Is this him? That's him, OG Rihanna. What if, before I play this, what if they all finessing us? What if this whole thing was one big finesse? I said Jerome in the house. All right, so let me get her, because she wanted to speak on negative comments. She's now a content creator. She signed with CAA. Oh, my God. All right, so listen. She is now a content creator, and she's big dog. So you know she's going to continue to become successful. Let's run it up. Let's see what she had to say about the negativity that came along with her whole story. Uh-oh.
I was tired of holding it in. And I hope it helps somebody.
That is a clip from the viral TikTok series, Who the Bleep Did I Marry? Viewed millions of times, created a huge conversation about betrayal and spotting it in your life. Before we went to break, one of the things I think I want people to also know the depths of the allegations of the lying.
Ooh,
you told us a lot. I
want
want
the side profile. Ooh. You know the one thing that black men want? Effort. That's the one thing a black man want. Effort. That's all we want. Let's just all try. Let's all try. I'm so tired of Lane Bryant. I think that Lane Bryant should be out of business, personally. I think Lane Bryant. Y'all know who Lane Bryant is? Not Kobe. Yeah. Woo! All right. Let's continue.
people to also know the depths of the allegations of the lying. You told us a lot about when you lost the pregnancy. And when you heard from your ex's family, you learned that he'd made people believe you actually had the baby.
Yes. Yes. That there was his mother's best friend, who he called his aunt. When I had spoken to her and I told her, you know, that we were going through a divorce, she said to me, well, what about the baby? And I said, what baby? And she said, your baby. So yes, he had led her to believe that we had a son. He had told her the son's name. And so she had no idea. So it was on that phone call that I told her, I said, no, ma'am, I lost the baby back in June.
How are you so strong in this?
Well, according to Charlamagne, she's so strong because she got big bag energy. Pressure was made for shoulders, not hips. Oh, man. I need to know more about this story so I can understand why they lying to us like this.
So some of it truly is a front, because underneath, I'm scared, I'm embarrassed, I'm still kicking myself. I also know now who I am more, because one thing I will say, I'm not the woman.
It took TikTok for you to help you to realize who you are. No, it's them checks that you're getting.
I was when I met him, right? But
you go, girl.
I am also not the woman I'm going to be on the other side of this. So I am aware of
and you deserve love.
I am aware of that.
Oh, look at what Jesus. Where did Molly get that from? What thrift store did she go to get that outfit from? Molly got the girl sweating. Woo! Molly got the girl sweating. Woo! Mom always told me, boy, count your blessings. And in God, I trust. Chris James, you out here showing off? I got you, Chris. Shout out to Chris. I'm definitely going to be reading that super chat shortly. In God, I trust. Gold all of my fame. Gold all of my rings. Gold all of my watch. Don't believe me, just watch. Shout out to Q. Let's continue. Okay, let's continue.
The goal, as stated, was to share this with other people of these warning flags, but yet now you're taking insults, attacks. People are questioning your character. They're saying you're doing it for money. And I know that's hurting.
Yeah. It is not easy to see yourself being ripped apart online. And I'm human. This is not a world I'm used to. I am not a celebrity. I like to go to
taking
Walmart
all of the money.
incognito. I like to go, I still, like I said, I still go to work. So it's very difficult to see people who, number one, didn't even watch the series talk about me in such a very visceral and negative way.
What has stood out of those negative comments? Because I feel like most people are saying, like our Tant fam, good for you, you're so strong. What negative comments hurt the most, I guess?
Tamarin, you know what the comments are. Go ahead and throw that alley-oop though.
The ones where they say, she did this for clout. This is not the way to get clout. Because
how do somebody saying that somebody did it for clout? All right, so listen, y'all. Look. Before we continue this and we see this, y'all intentionally pick up your device, you put it in front of yourself, you record yourself, you see and you look at what you said when you recorded yourself, you create an account, you then put captions on it, and you put a title, you upload it, and then you want to become famous and you want as many likes as possible as a result of it. Okay? You cannot go through every single step and then get mad when people give an opinion that's different from what you say. Even in this very chat, on a day-to-day basis, I say, hey, listen, y'all. And you did 50 of them. I say, listen, y'all, there is people that disagree with me every single day that be in these chats. Every day there be people that disagree with me. What do I tell my moderators? I say, hey, listen, don't time them out. As long as they keep it on me and they not crazy, they not talking about my family or something like that, then let them rock. Because you can't have a microphone and a platform and be a content creator and make money from this and then want to tell people, oh, I'm offended by the fact that you didn't just hit me with support. No, sometimes it's both constructive criticism and it's that other thing, okay? So look, you can't play victim while choosing to participate. You can't say, oh, I'm incognito, but you created a 50-part series. And see, this is the gaslighting that we got to deal with, y'all. Q disagree with me all the time. Crazy. Crazy as ever. You're going to put this up there every day and then you're going to get mad when people got an opinion about it. Okay.
Because you are literally opening up yourself, and again, you're being vulnerable. Those hurt. The ones that talk about the fact, and I know people have seen this, she does not look like what a VP would date. And it was a woman, it was a TikTok creator who was talking about my looks. And then there was a very famous personality that called me a big back, talking about my weight. And so it's things.
Now, I'm not telling y'all to tell people that they big bags. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm not saying nothing right now. I'm just trying to figure out what to say. I don't know. Listen, we all got things that's wrong with us that people are going to point out. It's just a fact. It just is what it is. It just is what it is. We all got issues. I don't know. Maybe I grew up in a tougher household. I had 3 brothers, and I had a huge family, and the caps was real. Boy, you better get some thick skin. I don't know too many black people that wasn't supposed to have thick skin. This just come with the game. It just come with the game. When somebody get one off on you, plenty of people done got one off on me, and I just start laughing. I just be like, all right, you got that one. You got that one, big dog. And it's things that you can control. If you bothered by it, then change it. If you bothered by it, then change it. Flat out. Flat out.
It's like that I'm like, Jesus, I can already admit I'm self-conscious, as a heavier woman. I feel like how I look should not dictate whether or not I deserve what I want.
This is such a delusional argument, and I'm about to cut this off in a minute. How you look should not dictate what you deserve. Where in the history of historydom has that been true? I'm just asking. At what point in history did not what you put in your mouth determine whether or not you can go on a roller coaster? Where in history? I thought y'all said pretty privilege was a thing. Come on, man. Why are we sitting here playing games? Everybody want to be PC? Everybody want to be PC? I felt like I deserved a dunk. That wasn't going to happen. Felt like I deserved to go to the NBA. But that wasn't going to happen either. Nope, sure didn't. I felt like we needed some diversity, equity, and inclusion when it came to me being a basketball player. That just did it wasn't in the card. So you know what I did? I made the most of it. I made the most of it. I said, listen, God, you may not have blessed me with a large height, but you blessed me with something else that's large. You know what I'm saying? One thing they can't criticize, to one thing is for sure, and two things is for certain. When we lay down, we all the same height, though. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? When we lay down, we all the same height. You got to make the most of what you got so you can get what you want. It just is what it is. It is what it is. You listen, when you blessed on one side, you may not necessarily be blessed on one side. You got blessings on the other side. I can't complain. I know plenty of tall people that's poor. I know a lot of tall people that's poor. Will I be willing to trade places with them? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I know some guys that can't grow a beard. They got to get tape on beards. I know some guys that can grow a beard. They got to get tape on beards. They wasn't blessed with beards. It's just life. It's life. But you got to control the controllables. You have to control the controllables. It's things that you can control, and it's things that you can't control. All right? One of the things that we can control is what we put in our mouth. You don't have to eat the burger. You don't have to take the burger in, ma'am. Ma'am, step away from the plate. Step away from the plate.
So that was disappointing, and it was hurtful, especially the one that was the more famous personality. I will admit this: I appreciate when I met both men and women who have said thank you, because for me it's like, okay, I know I'm getting attacked, but it did help somebody. When I hear someone that said, girl, I watched all 50 parts, I genuinely am humbled that someone took 500 minutes out of their life and watched the story that I went through. And my prayer is that, again, if there is a woman or man who's like, I want to be married, I want kids, I want this, and I need to have it right now, and you know something's wrong, but you're afraid to investigate because you're afraid that you might be wrong. And it's like, I'm here to say,
I didn't watch it. I don't really care about all the rest of it. I just wanted to stop running in the Victim Olympics. Ma'am, you making a lot of money. I make a lot of money. I make a lot of money. It's funny. I was working early this morning because I got up at I was in the office before 6:00 and I was working. And I'm sorry, wrong one. I was in the office because I was working before 6:00. And Rita texted me and she was like, oh my God, you work so hard. I feel bad. I immediately texted her back and I said, don't you ever feel bad for me. Don't feel bad for me. I'm okay working. The alternative, I take this one over the alternative. Don't feel bad for me. I'm blessed. I'm incredibly blessed. I would not have it any other way. I am absolutely thankful. So thankful that I feel like I need to do a better job with the controllables, and that's why I'm in the gym every day. So that's that. Let me read some of the super chats, and then I got a couple more things that I want to share with you guys. We got to get to the money. Apex Life in the building says, shout out to Big Shirley. Had it to say. Shout out to Big Shirley. Rest in peace, Campbell Samuels. Shout out to you. Oh, I got to give you the whole thing. Shout out to you. Thank you, my friend. Top Notch Rocker said it has been reported that McConnell endorses Trump for president after Haley drops out of the race. That's pretty good. That is pretty good. Oh, my God. You ain't lying, I ain't like Girl Q. If God didn't bless us with sleep, y'all would all be in trouble because I wouldn't stop. If he didn't bless us with sleep, y'all would all be in trouble. Chris James says, it's cool with the 200 ball. Ooh, wee. Ooh, right after the 100 ball, right after the other ones. Let me give him I appreciate you. Your content helped me develop my business mindset. Now I'm hiring employees now. I am broke on paper, but I got to catch every show. But just know that RAV4 still on the table once I find my reader. I appreciate you, big homie. Thank you, my friend. Chris James. Chris James. LeBron James, Chris James. Thank you, my friend, for holding me down. Listen, I cannot thank y'all enough. I cannot thank y'all enough. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I got to acknowledge y'all. Y'all are the ones that power this show. It is because of y'all. I cannot do this without y'all. All right? Tyree says, it's insane how women get this kind of attention for this stuff when men get finessed every day, and we are not bringing them on Tamron Hall. You just going to be on a Wednesday night show getting laughed at because me and Freezy going to be cracking up at y'all. Make sure y'all tune into the show tonight. Kung Fu Hustler says, Anton, I'm running up a bag at Lane Bryant. Can't go out of business yet. All right, I feel you. We need him. MP says, I know somebody that's just as slow as her and is going through the same thing. Women like this don't listen to the voice of reason. Shaking my head. Too bad the lady I know didn't make no money. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, NP. DJ Ace Productions in the building says, you can't get this type of entertainment during the midday nowhere else. They can't do it if they tried. They keep on trying to duplicate the process. They can't duplicate what we got going on. Ken J says, would wide back be more... Skittle, let's get him. Skittle says, that's like a guy saying, I'm broke, but I deserve a dime. Who gonna be submissive and faithful? Now, we know that's a lie. DJ Ace Production says, like Jada can say, aha. But if you pay like you weigh, then you can stay, baby. Yes. Tyree in the building says, hello? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl who looked good. I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a fat 6'4" Impala. I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had a girl with a good, I would call her. Wish I had a rabbit in a hat with a fat 6'4" Impala. I wish I was a little bit taller. Shout out to Tyree. I appreciate you, big dog, for holding me down. Antonio Watkins is in the building. Says, I can't grow a beard. I stick with the goatee. You got to work with what you got. Big dog. Jay Ben is in the building. Says, what did Bishop TD say to the plate? Have you ever been swallowed up? Woo! Shout out to y'all. Ashton De Roja says, this person makes me ashamed I was fat to begin with. I was nearly 300 pounds. Woo-wee. I got to give you that one. I was nearly 300 pounds last year, and today I'm 248. Then already lost 52 pounds. Trying to reverse years of damage I did to my body by not watching how I eat. Hey, congratulations to Ashton. Hey, stay on that journey, big dog. We want you here for the rest of your life so we can go and run this bag up. What's the point of making a bunch of money if you can't go out here and spend it with the bag chasers? Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Tech Coach Ralph is in the building, says, salute. Bag chasers, reminder, in the Discord, we'll have a fireside chat this Saturday at 6 p.m. Eastern. Link to the Discord is in the description of any of the most recent videos. We'll be doing an intro to Agile to get and stay organized. Do y'all know what Agile is? Y'all know what Agile methodology is? I'm not going to give you a crash course. We use Agile every day, but it can be applied to every aspect of your life, including how it is that you can utilize this information in order to get your next job. If you guys are not a part of the Discord, you're not a part of the Patreon, they're having a fireside chat inside of the Bag Chasers. Listen, the community is communitarian. And if y'all not a part of it, then y'all need to get with it. Shout out to Tech Coach Ralph running it up inside of the Patreon. I appreciate you, big dog. Alboa Cinema says, now let us all wait for the fake horror stories on TikTok from all sorts of females about their bad marriage. Shout out to my dog Alboa Cinema. I appreciate you, big dog. Sister, I appreciate you, baby. Fat back energy. Yes, I said it. Shout out to sister. I appreciate you, love. You are the love of my life. I love you. Now, we got to get to the money. So a couple different things that I want to share with you guys before we move on for our day. All right? Okay. First things first is that I warned you guys. When I was breaking down what was happening out here in these streets, I said, listen, guys, you're not just going to be competing against your fellow businessman that is trying to buy a home in your city. You're going to be competing against corporate entities. Yeah, you are, especially in the larger cities, because it's one of the places that they like to park money in, and it's safe. It's a safe place for them to park money in. Yes, I did. So where we going to go today, ladies and gentlemen, is we're going to go all the way over to the ATL, shorty, because what I know for sure, one thing is for sure and two things is for certain, is that ain't nothing safe in the ATL. And if you want to understand what's going on in this economy, first, especially in the black communities and in the surrounding communities, all you got to go is to the ATL, shorty. ATL, shorty. Go to the ATL. So this, for example, ladies and gentlemen, before we get over into what's happening today, is what was produced well over a year ago. This was the sentiment that they was giving you inside of the news. Again, make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
At 11, Metro Atlanta is battling an astronomical cost of living, rising rent, soaring gas prices, and inflation.
It's a costly combination that's eroding our communities at their core. We have live team coverage tonight on the impact of these economic strains. Hear from the latest local business forced to shut down shop right here in Atlanta.
But first, let's get right to CBS 46's Patrick Quinn. Patrick, you're in Atlanta explaining how one local leader wants to stop the rotating door of renters.
Now remember, this was from over a year ago. Over a year ago. I'm talking about 2022. They was continuing to report on this, and I had already been talking about it way before then. This report is from over a year ago.
And Sean, today I spoke with a realtor. They told me we are very much still in a seller's market. So many prospective homeowners are forced and settling to rent. Now, this 3-bedroom house here in Grant Park, it is for rent, and you wouldn't be able to tell from the outside, but the owners are based in Dallas, Texas. New data shows corporate landlords like the company Invitation Homes, who owns this house, they own thousands of homes across Atlanta, and as they swoop into the market, they're pushing out first-time home buyers.
It's an everyday occurrence now.
Realtor Antonio Merkerson sees it daily. Out-of-town mega companies with deep pockets beating out prospective home buyers. Sometimes for sellers, the quick payout is hard to turn down. Merkerson said that was true for one recent seller in Stockbridge.
It was hard for her not to accept the offer from that company that came in and buying it to rent it out.
Big companies buying to rent.
I got you,
all
Big
over
Suds.
Atlanta. In a new report, 4 companies, Invitation Homes, American Homes for Rent, Tricon Residential, and Front Yard Residential, they own more than 27,000 single-family homes in Metro Atlanta. With so many rentals, there are fewer homes available to buy in an already limited housing landscape.
We have city employees who would love to live in the city of College Park, but are getting priced out.
College Park Mayor Bianca Motley Broom said 75% of College Park residents are renting. She said these corporate landlords are challenging her residents' path to home ownership. A new report by Georgia Tech shows black would-be homebuyers are especially being pushed out.
I think what's at stake is the opportunity for people to build wealth and to pass it on to the next generation.
Mayor Motley Broom is urging the state to give cities more options in regulating these corporate landlords.
It's very difficult when investors are snatching up every single house and then also coming to us with proposals for build-to-rent subdivisions.
And you guys don't even have to worry about it anymore. You know why? Because while you guys were sitting there fighting, they were buying up everything, including your own hoods. They're going into your own neighborhoods and they're gentrifying it. And a lot of y'all come back a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, and you like, man, this place has changed. It's better over here. They're parking money in the homes. They've been doing it. They're going to continue to do it. And it's an easy way for them to retain value while still controlling the market. What does that mean by controlling the market? It means that they're controlling the prices of what's being paid, which is basically artificially continuously making themselves rich. Shout out to Miami-Dade County clerks. I'm going to be reading those super chats shortly. Now, this report actually came out a couple days ago. All right. Conversely, it's a little low, but check it out.
Stunning new details tonight on Georgia's housing crisis. A GSU study says 19,000 homes, not apartments, homes in the metro are owned by 3 companies. That's nearly 1 in every 9 houses up for rent, and some entire suburban neighborhoods where corporations own it all. Channel 2's Michael Dowdna is live in Paulding County. And Michael, this is important because it drives up prices for everyone.
Yeah, when you're talking about tens of thousands of homes involved here, well, it can make an impact, meaning that homes that you see like this one that would originally have been a starter home about a decade or so ago are now for lease. Signs in front yards showing not a home for sale, but for rent.
Atlanta has more of these types of properties than the next couple of metro areas combined.
These properties are single-family homes owned by corporations, not people. And Atlanta is the #1 location for these houses in the entire country, according to GSU professor Taylor Shelton.
Just a decade or so ago, none of these companies even existed.
But a recent study found that just 3 companies, known to customers as Progress Residential, Invitation Homes, and Main Street Renewal, own more than 19,000 homes in the metro area.
The homes that most of these companies are buying are exactly the kind of starter homes that 15, 20, 30 years ago would have been first-time home buyers.
And in certain areas, these corporations can own most of the homes in a neighborhood. Take this street where every single house you see is owned by Invitation Homes, built to rent and not to buy, impacting the entire market as a whole.
It makes it impossible to find a deal.
Jordana Haig says the end result has led to higher prices as corporations have bought up much of the supply of homes, pushing up house prices while also allowing them to control the rent.
That's problematic because there should be more competition to keep prices reasonable.
But for others like DeMar Madison, these rental homes allow folks to try out home ownership without the full commitment.
You need a new roof? You call Invitation. Tell them, hey, I need a new roof. So I think it just varies. I think it depends on the person.
Now, while this study focused on just the top 3 corporations that own the most property, if you actually expanded that out to the top 10, well, they own more than 30,000 homes in the metro area. And if you expand that beyond just the immediate metro, well, those numbers only continue to climb higher.
What happens when you buy up all of the supply? 2 equals 1, you are 100%. What happens when you buy up all of the supply? You then control the market. When you control the market, then you control the prices. When you control the prices, you control profitability. It's all a game about power. Everybody is so focused on how much money that they're making, and nobody is focused on how much property that they're controlling. And when I say property, I'm not just talking about real estate. I'm talking about in anything. In anything. One of the reasons why I stayed where I'm from is because I've built up so much equity. And when I say equity, I'm talking about equity with regard to the people that are in power, equity in real estate market, equity in being literally the biggest content creator and live streamer in Detroit, period, bar none. There is no bigger. I am the one that controls the market, right? I dictate what's hot here as far as from a content creation perspective, not entirely, but in a general sense. I am now the one that is the equity owner of what then goes on when it comes to content creation in Detroit. So in a sense, what it's done is it's allowed for me to continue to grow and then also do business while controlling to an extent of what happens in the market. And it's the same thing with every single thing that's happening, right? So then Anton says, okay, well, listen, I don't want to necessarily go everywhere in order to continue to buy. I just want to continue to buy up everything that's in the spaces that I'm in. Why? Because it then dictates what happens. What gives you the voting power? Well, if you own all of the market, then that means that you own what happens, or you control what happens in that particular neighborhood, or you control what happens in that particular city, or in that particular township, or that community, or that cul-de-sac. Because you determine what happens. And what people don't understand is that once you get past a certain level when it comes to money, it then becomes about power. And nobody cares. Nobody cares about making it a fair marketplace. That is for the politicians to figure out. But guess what? The politicians are owned by whoever it is that has the money, because they're the ones that control what goes into the campaign coffers. It's all about power. You hold the power, you make all of the money, you control the money. It's the same thing across the board. Listen, the minute that y'all start letting big box stores or corporations dictate what happened in y'all town and y'all stop participating with what happens inside of your city council, and you didn't know your treasurers and you didn't know your neighbors anymore, and everybody said, well, mind your own business. Well, that's when you allow for all of the corporations to come in and dictate what happens, because you ran away from your community. You decided that it was no longer yours because you gave it over into the powers that be. Then nobody owned any more stores. Nobody dictated what happened. Everybody didn't shop, work, and play in the same area. It became a food desert. Y'all burned down y'all houses. And when you did that, all you did was make it cheaper for somebody else like me, or even worse, a large corporation, to come in and buy up what's happening in your community and then determine what happens to it. When you hold the power, when you hold the keys, when you have all of the connections, when you know what's going to happen before it happens, then you make the rules. Which then leads me to the next conversation. And the final conversation. And I'm going to read the super chat shortly. I seen a recent video that popped up on my feed. Thank you, Jessica. Thank you, sister. I seen a recent video that popped up on my feed, right? And it was from EYL, and I have not watched the video. Seemed like the more videos that I watch from EYL, the more they start to pop up on my feed. I didn't even know they produce as much content. But it was a video that popped up on my feed, and the debate was, should you stay and buy the block up? Because remember, we had this over a few years, and where people were saying, oh, man, buy the block, buy up the block. Don't let people take your neighborhood or whatever, so on and so forth. Should you stay and buy the block? Or should you move out and continue to do what's best for you and your family? This, in my opinion, is the most important debate if you really want to have it as a community. Well, why is it one of the most important debates if you want to have it as a community? Because it's hard to tell somebody what to do with their money. It's hard to tell somebody, hey, you need to, stay in the hood, or you need to do this, or you need to do that. It's hard to tell people to do that. Why is it hard to tell people to do that? Because on one hand, you don't want to give up control and power from the very people that's complaining that they ain't got enough control and power. But then on the other hand, it's hard to tell somebody not to do what's in the best interest of their family and make the sacrifice for the future. So I wanted to hear what their take is, and then I'll react to it. Again, this is the last video of the day. Make sure you hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
A lot of times people say buy back the block, or you left the hood. Why you left? You come back. We need to rejuvenize our neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We need to put businesses in communities. And then some people's like, for what? I'm not doing that. That's what Nipsey Hussle did, and he got killed.
Yeah.
Or that's Cam Newton trying to build in the neighborhood.
And it's not the first time
he's getting
been attacked. Yeah.
You can't jump Cam Newton. That's ridiculous. So at what point do you leave the neighborhood and never come back? Do you stay in the neighborhood? Do you stay with some level of precaution? What's the correct balance for that?
I think you got to move with precaution. I will say this too, for everyone who tries to jump somebody or a celebrity, keep your hands to yourself. I don't want this to
I
happen.
say that all the time.
One of y'all are gonna get killed though. Try with Zach Randolph, shout out Big GD, or a few others.
Big GD.
Like, keep your motherfucking hands to yourself.
I say that all the time. Y'all know that's my slogan. I've been saying that for years. My slogan has always been keep your hands. I said it on After Hours. I say it all the time. People have a hard time with this, and I don't know why it's so difficult. And they really have a hard time with it when it comes to people of prominence and celebrities, and I don't know what this clout chasing is, but I say it all the time. Keep your hands to yourself. It is no reason, under any circumstances, for you to initiate putting your hands on somebody unwarranted. Stop putting your hands on people. You're going to mess around and find out. I've always said that.
Me included. Don't even try. All my friends. Leave me alone. But I think, like, of course, this wouldn't happen to Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, Archie Manning. Like, I don't know why this keeps happening, but I think, like, Cam needs to whoop one of them real tough, because this happened a couple times.
With Cam?
Yeah. Well, high school kids disrespecting them and talking crazy. Like, parents, I know this era is different, and a lot of this is happening because you're allowing your teenagers to talk back to you. The outside world not going to play with your kid the same way. Because where I'm from, the 14, 15, 16-year-olds are killers anyway. Once they get past puberty, already think you got that shit on you anyway. 430 round to 400 round. Be careful. These is real life games.
But what would all right, so outside of that though, do you advise people going back to the neighborhood?
Yeah, you got to get back. I don't think you can never give up on where you're from. Not if you're real. And a lot of times that pressure be coming from where you're from, because y'all really don't be giving back. Y'all do this shit for the photo op. If you really give it, you'll have some protection. But you got to move cautious. You can't be out there all day. Like, I'm not going back to EC and Gary all day and posting up all day. I look like food to them. But I'm going to give back.
But I also think that, all right, so I think it's a complicated.
Why do we feel like it's important for us to give back? Okay, this is where me and Ian disagree 100%. Because in order for me to give back to something, I have had to been poured into. Think about it. Even the words itself, because words mean things. In order for me to give back, I would have had to been poured into. Right? One thing I know for sure, and two things is for certain: the hood don't pour into you, it take away from you. I don't believe that anybody owes anything back to a hood that tried to take them under. In order for me to give back, I would have had to been poured into. You can't tell me that I'm not real because I didn't control where I was born at. I don't owe. Listen, if you decide to invest, meaning that, and anywhere else, because look, I don't know anybody. I don't know nobody from other cultures that feels like they owe the neighborhood where they grew up at some sort of pittance or financial thing. They just live their life. I've never heard a white person say, I need to come back and give back to this community. If the school that they grew up with or grew up in or their alma mater They wind up becoming successful as a result of going there and the opportunity. Then they come back and they give back too, because they probably never would have had the opportunity had they not went to that particular school and got the lessons that it took in order to be successful, or got the coaching or whatever. But again, it's the fact that they got poured into, which is one of the reasons why they feel compelled to give back. I don't know nobody from other cultures that was born in a specific city and say, oh man, I got to make sure that I go and give back. No, that's not what they do. That's not what they do. In order for somebody to give back, they got to be poured into. And so please don't tell me that I'm not real, because I'm going to do the thing that's in the best interest of my family. And I'm not going back to the hood in any capacity. I don't even care when it comes to security. Listen, the only time you're going to catch me in the hood is if I'm trying to buy it and gentrify it and I'm looking to get a return on my investment. But it's got to be a return on investment. It's got to be a return on investment. I'm not doing it for the sake of doing it. I'm doing it because it's important for me to make a return on my investment. If the neighborhood benefits as a result of it, of course I want to be a good steward. Of course I want to be a great neighbor. But I don't feel like I owe nothing to nobody. The hood ain't gave me nothing but a headache and an opportunity to crash out.
I think it's a complicated conversation because Black people have a deep love affair with the ghetto.
I don't know why.
It's a very strange dynamic that we have that I don't think anybody else ever has. I've never seen anybody from Japan, like, you know,
the Yakuza not playing. Hold on now.
No, but I'm saying Hype Williams used to make the projects look like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Right. And Boys in the Hood and all of these different it was like the glorification of bad neighborhoods is something that has deeply been embedded in our culture. And we love it. Like,
was that Hype Williams, or was that us being limited to certain areas and that's the only stories we could tell at that time?
Well, the thing about it is that, like I said, I feel like even when you make it out, there's still the admiration, the love, the respect for the worst neighborhood as opposed to the better neighborhood.
Yeah.
Right.
Facts.
And even
because then, and let me tell you how backwards our culture is. If you raised in a good neighborhood, they think that that's a slight against you. If you're raised in a good neighborhood, they say that that's a slight against you. Listen, I would love to be able to have claimed a different neighborhood. I would love to have claimed a different neighborhood than the one that I was raised in. I would have loved to have raised in a much better neighborhood than I was raised in. I don't think that is real just because I was raised between 7 and 8 Mile, Norfolk and Chippewa on Green Lawn. Like, that ain't no badge of honor. I love the fact that my daughter, let me tell you something, man. My 16-year-old daughter, she drove her car down to the penthouse last night. She was chilling while I was struggle streaming. My daughter picks which place that she wants to stay at throughout the week. And then she drives to school. And the determining factor was how tired she felt like she was going to be. And if she wanted to get up early because she knew she had to drive a little bit more distance to go to the school that I designated for her. And the car that she drives is beautiful. It's gorgeous. I don't want my daughter to be from or claiming a hood. Crazy. You crazy. When my daughter woke up this morning, they already had planned to have her car out there waiting for her. It's a fact. They call her Miss Daniels. Yeah, she did have me struggling streaming with her Bluetooth. They call her Miss Daniels. Is Miss Daniels going to be down? I said, who, my wife? Oh, Miss Daniels, the younger Miss Daniels. They walk her to her car, make sure she's safe, have her junk warmed up when she comes outside. When did we start glorifying being from a horrible space? That ain't cool. When did that be cool? I don't want to. Yeah. Where you from? Man, listen, you think you're going to shame me because I wish. I don't claim the place that I came from. I just say where I came from to give you some context on how difficult it's been to get here.
When you travel, people say travel like, yo, I want to go to Jamaica. I want to touch the hood. We've been to the hood in Jamaica and we were with our friends, but I'm not traveling somewhere and that's the first thing I'm looking for is to go to the worst place in that area.
Y'all be going to Chicago and go to O Block, y'all crazy.
Yeah, like it's not a tourist destination. Like you said, like why would you go to Chicago and just go to O Block? Because I want to see what it looks like for myself.
I don't.
What good is going to come from that? So I say that to say, I think psychologically, the first thing that we have to do is kind of move past a mindset that fully keeps us in that world, infatuated and fascinated with that.
Yeah.
And I also think that nobody has to do anything. So there's also a level of entitlement, I think, right? Because like somebody said, like I've never heard a white person say what they've done for the neighborhood.
Facts.
It's some who have though.
No, not really. So like Mark Zuckerberg, I never heard him say what he did for his neighborhood. He don't have to.
He get back to his high school.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Educational, but that's what I'm saying. That's the thing that's going to actually help, right?
Yeah.
Like when you're going to give back to something,
I
they'll
agree
give
100%
$100 million
with what
to
Rashad
Harvard.
is saying.
Yeah.
They'll give a $10 million check to the high school. They'll give a $5 million donation to a synagogue.
Yeah.
These are things that people want black people to be the savior for people just in general. Like, what are you doing for the hood? Well, what am I supposed to do? Give out turkeys? I mean, that's not sustainable.
Yeah.
We could do that, and we do that, but I mean, that's a one-off situation. Is that gonna fully make a difference in somebody's life after Thanksgiving is over?
I think what we're doing with the show, Market Mondays, and we try to do EOL, is a form of giving back.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like I just think that we have too much pressure put on us. That's what I'm saying. Like as far as a black millionaire,
I agree.
Like you just got the money. You don't even have enough to really impact change. People, before you even get a chance to have a generational wealth, it's taken from you from expectations of other people.
Can I give the obvious pushback that I know we're going to get?
What?
We just had a fur party. We can't say that shit.
Say what?
That we can't give back to the hood.
No. What I'm saying is that nobody's obligated to.
Oh, yeah. Well, no, I don't think that's true.
Nobody's obligated.
I think if you, depending on where you're from,
to.
I think you should give back.
No. It's the difference between should and obligated, right? Nobody's obligated to do anything. Of course, every human being should want to help other people.
Yeah.
Out of humanity, right? That's how we all move forward in humanity. But what I'm saying is that it's just the pressure of somebody that makes it out of a neighborhood and they're looked at as like, damn, you haven't done anything for this neighborhood. Like, well, why don't you hold your politicians accountable? They don't, like, they have more power than the celebrity. Like, what is a celebrity really going to do for the neighborhood? Even if he does millions of dollars and builds a community center, right? It still has to be run by people, right? They don't have the power to clean up the street. They don't have the power to fix potholes. These are all things that there's millions of dollars in the city budget that gets misused every single year. So I think that we will look at a rapper and hold him more accountable than we hold the mayor. Then we hold the elected officials.
The rapper is selling themselves on being from River Park or Yonkers or Chicago or St. Louis.
Because that's where he's from.
The politician. So if you're stamping this shit and saying I'm from here.
But the politician's job is to actually do something. The rapper's job is
I think the rapper's job and our job is
the rapper's job is to
no.
entertain people.
Listen, Ian is 100% wrong on this one. I don't know, and usually I'm agreeing with what Ian say. Ian is 100% wrong. Listen, just because you saying where you from does not mean that you somehow, some way have an obligation to tithe back to the place that you don't even own nothing in. Listen, man, y'all, we banging on blocks and we claiming places that we don't even own nothing in. That's crazy. Meanwhile, the politician is being paid by the taxpayers to do the thing that's in the best interest of the people that live within the city. And you got people like Tiffany Dalton that's out here using it like her personal piggy bank, and we don't put any kind of requirements on those people. When did we start becoming required to give money or to do something for people that ain't even doing for themselves? I don't know what Ian is on right now. I don't know where Ian from. That's crazy.
And make words.
I think you said, listen,
Ron,
this is my thought. You can either feed the wolves or have the wolves come to your motherfucking house.
Is Ian crazy? I don't know what Ian is on right now. Ian said either you can feed the wolves or have the wolves come to your house. Man, I don't owe you nothing. Come to my house. Listen, in my neighborhood, wolves is extinct. Wolves deserve to be in the wilderness, not in a civilized community, not in a gated community. It's a lot of barriers to entry to get to my house. Wolves die where I'm from. They starve. They're in a zoo to be watched for amusement, to understand and to study. You said the streets got it. No, the streets got to starve. The streets is made for cars to roll over.
But that's not true, because Nipsey Hussle's a perfect example of that. Yep. He's somebody that's probably one of the realest people of all time, that stayed in his neighborhood, that opened up businesses, that fed his people, that had his.
And you invest in fidelity, Anton. Look at this. Let's look at the comments. I love the comments. I love to interact with the people. You invest in fidelity, Anton. What have they done for you when you were young that helped you to get where you are now? What? Fidelity is an investment vehicle. I'm not invested in fidelity. I use fidelity to make money, and I've made more money with fidelity than I have in 8 Mile Scony land. I have no idea what you're talking about. Fidelity is an investment vehicle. As a matter of fact, fidelity has made me more money than I've ever could have imagined in my entire life. I have no idea what y'all talking about. And ultimately, it's a return on me keeping my money in that institution. I make money from being in that. What are you talking about? What has the hood done for me to help me to get to where I am? That's what I'm trying to understand. What has the hood done for me? What are y'all talking about? Jesus Christ. I know what they did try to do. They tried to rob me. They tried to take me away from my family. That's what it did.
His whole community with him, every single way that he went, this is his whole brand.
Yeah.
And he got killed by somebody from his neighborhood. 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up getting jealous. 9 times out of 10, you're going to end up getting killed by people that you know. This is even in gang life. Like, most Crips get killed by Crips. Most Bloods get killed by Bloods. It's inter-violence. So it's like, you're going to have animosity and hatred from the people that know you the most.
But
you're not going.
But the community in that set different. Now, I don't want to go here. But
that's anyway.
The community in the set is dramatically different.
Chinks Drugs got killed in his neighborhood in Queens, right? Nipsey got killed in his neighborhood.
Yeah.
So many rappers get killed in their neighborhood. So, all right, it's keeping it real going wrong. It's like, okay, now you want to stay around an environment that you got away from.
Yeah, I'm not hanging out.
But how is it beneficial?
No, I'm not. You can get back without hanging out all day. What Jay-Z say? I'll be not
like what
all day, talking about how I'm being in the hallways all day.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
I'm not kicking it all day.
So that's so that goes back to a mindset of, I think that, is building in a neighborhood productive? My answer to this is yes, with a purpose.
That's correct, sister.
Right? Yeah. Like, if you want to do something and build, but as far as just staying around
and just kicking
physically being there,
not all the time. No,
like, what's the purpose?
Never. Ain't no all the time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like there's nothing that's gonna happen that's gonna be beneficial for you.
Yeah.
So why would you work your whole life to get out of a situation and go back into it? It's like breaking into jail.
Yeah, I don't think you should stay there, but I think the people that are there that are just like you need to find a way to help.
Jesus
Christ.
When you say find a way to help, what do you mean?
Find a way to help them get out. That's why.
But you can't help. Like for Earn Your Leisure, right? We employ everybody that we employ is from our neighborhood. You know that. We got like 20 people that we employ from our neighborhood, friends, families. We're helping them, but ultimately they're helping themselves. There's probably 50 other people that would like to be employed by us, but it's not a value add, right? So it's not a charity organization. It's not my job to provide for another grown man.
You don't have to directly give your money, but you can give opportunity, or if it's a project, okay, we're going to do this one pop-up. If you run that well, then there can be room, or information, or here's how I built this. I think there's other ways you can give. Like I try and give a combination of money, which I'm doing a lot less of, but now information. Here's how to build your brand. Here's how to start your business. Here's how I scaled. Here's the mistakes that I've made. Like, I think you can do that, but I think to not do it, and it's frustrating because, like, to be very honest, most of the people I've fallen out with were people that I helped tremendously. But I always think of when I was coming up, like, damn, I wish I had somebody give me this insight, this game, this one.
Yeah, that's called a father. I'm sorry, big dog. It's called a church. It's called the right church. It's called a father. That's called a school. It's called a lot of different things. But I am not in any way, shape, or form feeling like I'm obligated to do for somebody that I don't even know based off of the fact that we were born in the same neighborhood together. You can forget it, bro. Not going to happen. Let me read some of these super chats and then I'm going to get y'all up out of here for the day because y'all up here looking out for your boy. Shout out to Big Sug. Says, Anton, can you do a video on how to secure a rental lease under your business similar to yourself? Yeah, I could do that all day long. That's easy. I don't even think I need to do a video about that. Remember this. I'll talk about it in the Patreon. I don't want to get that type of information out. It's not that difficult, though. It's very easy. Shout out to Big Suggs. I'll talk about it inside of the Patreon. Maybe I'll just do a Q&A this weekend, too, since we're doing Stock Club in the morning time during the week. Miami-Dade County Clerk of the Courts says, I just finished up using all of my lumens, and now it's time for that Teach Pack. Thank you, big dog. No, thank you, Miami-Dade County Clerk of the Courts. I appreciate you, my friend. I see you down there a little bit further, but I'm going to get to that. Prince Elien says, I wonder, was much of the crappy home construction done on purpose to get folks to sell so that the corporations could come in and buy them as rentals? I don't think so. Because you got to remember, you can't just do crappy home construction. That's why they got inspectors to make sure that you're not cutting corners and you're doing things the right way. So I don't know where all of the crappy home construction is, but hopefully it's not in your neighborhood. Prince Elien, Bag for Bag says, I pulled up my bootstraps and they can too. And so did I. Shout out to Ray Sean, says, Anton, have you forgiven the hood? Well, no. I didn't have to forgive the hood. I had to forgive the people that robbed me in the hood. Now, they still had to be held accountable for their actions. That's not up to me. That's not up to me. However, I have forgiven. And the reason that I forgive is because it's what God said that we had to do. And if you're going to pray the prayer, forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and power, and the glory. If you're going to pray the prayer to forgive us according to how we're forgiven, then I need that grace. I need that grace. I need that grace. So forgiveness was for me, not necessarily for them. Remember, be selfish before you can be selfless, because you can't pour out of an empty cup. AJ's Tree Removal says, do you think our culture can be fixed? No. I think you need to throw the whole thing away and start over. Shout out to Miami-Dade County Court. Clerk of the Courts says, big facts, AD. I went to the same high school as Rick Ross. I never went back since I became successful and graduated. You won't catch me there ever. Shh. I never even showed my kids where I went to high school or where I grew up at. Nope. I will say this. I stopped in a coffee shop yesterday, in a coffee shop that I frequent, and I seen a young man, and he was a young black guy, and he was very well spoken, and he had on a Cass Tech, like a pullover, a Cass Tech pullover. And so I knew it was after school, and he basically had went to the same high school. I went to a really, really incredible high school, a great high school. And shout out to you. I appreciate you, Miami-Dade County Clerk of the Courts. And so I was just listening because I had already ordered my hot chocolate. And he was sitting there and he was talking or whatever. And he was, going back and forth with the barista, and he was very polite. And then he ordered his stuff. And when he got over into the thing, I paid for his stuff. And this is the honest to God truth on my father. It's honest to God truth. So I paid for his stuff, and he was like, "Oh, thank you." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, you go to Cass Tech?" He said, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh, okay, that's dope." And so I paid for his stuff, and then I gave him a couple pointers, and I said, "Hey, listen, do this, do that." And he said, "Oh, wow." He said, "Who are you?" And so I said, "Oh, okay, my name is Anton Daniels." And then I went and I waited for my stuff or whatever. And he looked me up online and he said, "Oh my God, I can't believe it. You went to Cass Tech?" I said, "Yeah, I went to Cass Tech." So we started engaging, and he was a cool young dude, right? Was no older than about 17 years old. So we exchanged information as far as on Instagram. I followed him on Instagram. He followed me on Instagram. And he says, "Let me ask you a question." And so he asked me about working harder so he can make more money and all of this stuff. And then I gave him my insight, and I said, "Hey, listen, stop being in a rush to be grown. You're supposed to be broke when you're poor. When you're younger." And he started laughing. And then I started giving him a couple more pointers about what money was and why he shouldn't be worried about it, but be more focused on his education. But don't have no self-inflicted wounds. Make sure you're not taking on no debt. You can do it a little bit more strategic. So we went into a whole conversation. And so we basically had probably about a 7 or 8 minute conversation. And so I sat there and I was drinking my coffee as I was talking to him. And then I told him to give me a call. You know what I'm saying? Or to hit me up or to DM me on Instagram. And then we'd go from there. And if he ever needed anything, as far as mentorship or, if he graduated, depending on what direction that he going in, if he needed an internship or something, or if I could refer him, then I would. And it was all based off of the fact that, I recognized that he was well-spoken, but then it helped the fact that he actually went to the high school that I went to. I say all that to say it's still up to him. It's 100% up to him. If he decides that he wants to leverage me or leverage the opportunity in order to continue to become successful, I'm willing to pay it forward. And then I'm expecting for him to pay it forward going forward. But let's just be clear. I have no requirement and no expectation on me and on my life to do anything for anybody because I don't owe anybody anything. Shout out to Cass Tech. My dog Kojak is in the building. My high school brother, my alumni. Regime says, "You the truth, fam, all facts." Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Donaldson is in the building, says, "Became a chaser 2 days ago. Thank you for all your motivation and gems, letting go of my bad habits and striving for health, wealth and happiness. God bless." God bless you too, Donaldson, and I hope your journey is as fruitful as I'm expecting for it to be if you leverage the information in the network that we got inside of the Chasers. Antonio Watkins says, "Thinking about that, it's another kid like me in the neighborhood. I want to give these young men..." Listen, you can't help nobody until you help yourself first. You cannot, and I'm going to repeat this, especially for men, you can't pour out of an empty cup. You can't pour out of an empty cup. Your cup need to be runneth over. Get the beam out of thine own eye. You need to be focused on everything related to you before you can focus on anything related to anybody else. That is the truth. It gets no more honest and realer than that. That is the honest to God truth. Stop feeling the need to do something for somebody when you have to first focus on you. Be selfish before you can be selfless. Hear me out. I'm telling you. Because you can do so much more when you already got yourself together. Enforcer 2K9 says, "Why do black folks refer to themselves as animals?" That's my dog. Woo! Easy Money is in the building. Says, "Playing with my money is like playing with my emotions, Smokey." Shout out to you. I appreciate you. Sister. Mr. AD. You teach the chasers to invest in yourself, to be the best version of yourself, to make a difference to those who love you back and go in a direction that you were going, and then you are 100% right. Absolutely. Love those that love you. Go where you appreciate it, not where you tolerate it. You know what I'm saying? Tech Coach Ralph says, why do I have to take a loss to give you a chance? We just now figuring it out. And I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth, Tech Coach Ralph, you don't. You don't at all. J-Rock 24K says, AD, you are helping the hood with information. Nope. I disagree, J-Rock. I'm helping anybody that is willing to go in the direction that I'm going in with information. I am not limited to black people. I am not limited to the hood. I'm not limited to white people. I'm not limited to women. I'm not limited to men. I'm limited to anybody that wants to limit their self. My information, my love, my enjoyment, my sentiment goes into anybody that wants to win. I love everybody, and I rock with people based off of the content of their character, not the color of their skin or the hood that they were born in. Latrell M says, giving back to your city that'll never change is like giving a drunk a drink. That's a fact. Hey, think about all of the people that's giving Chicago money and then they use it on immigrants. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let me just say this. You guys are the greatest on earth. I want to give another shout out to Sandra Brooks. Shout out to Sandra. I appreciate you, Sandra. Thank you for holding me down. Also, I want to give a shout out to Michael. Michael. Shout out to Michael on Cash App. Everybody that's holding me down all across the board. It's been a great show. It's been an incredible show. We had Stock Club this morning. This afternoon / this evening, I'm going to upload the replay of Stock Club because I got to make sure that I edit out the little part where I had some audio issues. I'm going to upload that onto the Patreon for you guys to be able to comment on and get your thoughts. And then on top of that, we got the Anton Daniels channel. And you know I'll be having my dog Freezy. Let's be clear. This is the greatest show on earth, bar none. I love you. I appreciate you. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. Anton been struggle streaming all week, but we going to get through it. We going to get to it, and it ain't nothing left but to do it. All right? I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are the greatest show on earth. Share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be rich by ourselves. Let's get to the bag. If you're not a chaser, make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love y'all. I'll put the timestamps in a couple hours. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.